As those involved in laying brick and working with stone as a building material, masonry workers were frequently exposed to the asbestos. The crystal tile variety was often used in mortar mixes as well as bricks themselves prior to the 1970s. Because asbestos materials were most often used in places where high heat posed an industrial hazard, those masonry workers involved in the construction of blast furnaces, fire kilns, and even pizza ovens are particularly at risk. Heat in the industrial context means temperatures ranging from 1500 to over 3200 degrees Fahrenheit. Under these temperatures, regular brick has a strong tendency to fracture. The mortar used in most average situations can actually explode due to the air pockets that become trapped inside. For this reason, special fire bricks containing asbestos in high-temperature mortar was often used in industrial situations. It is not unusual to find such asbestos-containing fire bricks in the fireplaces of residential structures built prior to 1980 as well. Safe asbestos? From 1963 until 1985, Union Carbide, a subsidiary of Dow Chemical, marketed asbestos products containing what they called calidria, named for the Central California town where it was mined. As it turned out, calidria was essentially a form of crystal tile. There's a great deal of controversy over whether or not crystal tile fibers are actually carcinogenic. Although it is generally agreed that such fibers are harmful to respiratory health. In 2005, a Swiss toxicologist, David M. Bernstein, wrote in the journal Inhalation Toxicology that crystal tile was actually less biopersistent than other types of asbestos, meaning that the fibers were either expelled or broke down inside the lungs. These claims were based on studies of laboratory rats. Reports of additional studies by Bernstein on this topic have been published online by the Crystal Tile Institute, as well as North American Insulation Manufacturers Association. The other report was the result of research performed at the Mount Sinai Hospital School of Medicine in 1996. The research team found that calidria crystal tile fibers to be mutagenic, capable of causing healthy cells to become malignant. The difference. Crystal tile and amphibole asbestos fibers differ only in degree. Either kind can ultimately kill a person. A medical study of cement plant workers in Louisiana showed that those who worked at plants where amphibole asbestos was used suffered a slightly higher rate of cancer, 29 out of 1,000, than those working at plants where crystal tile asbestos was the primary ingredient, 22 out of 1,000. How could this happen? Those who owned and operated the large asbestos companies, W.R. Grace, Raybestos, Johns Manville, and others, were aware of the health risks of asbestos decades ago. Ironically, it was the Raybestos Corporation that actually paid to have studies done, the result of which firmly demonstrated the connection between asbestos fibers and respiratory diseases. Instead of making the information publicly available, however, the CEO of Raybestos in 1940, Sumner Simpson, contacted the management of rival Johns Manville. It was agreed to keep health information secret. Nearly 40 years later, correspondence between Simpson and Johns Manville corporate officers was discovered in an office closet at Raybestos headquarters. The Sumner-Simpson papers are what opened the proverbial floodgates to all the litigation that has taken place since. Why an asbestos lawyer? Because of A, the long latency period of mesothelioma, and B, the fact that many asbestos companies have gone out of business and or have been taken over by other corporations, which in turn were often acquired by other larger corporations. Determining liability is tricky. In fact, asbestos law has for all practical purposes become a subspecialty in the field of litigation. An asbestos litigator has experience in the specific, often complex issues surrounding such claims. Drawing on well over 30 years of case law and precedent, as well as prior research, such a lawyer is the best qualified to ensure that an asbestos victim receives adequate compensation from those who willful negligence cause his or her illness. Thank you for watching. This video was produced by Asbestos.Net, a leading resource on all aspects of asbestos and mesothelioma. Our priority is to inform victims about the devastating effects of asbestos exposure, mesothelioma, asbestos cancer, asbestosis, and other asbestos-related diseases, and to advise them with a wealth of information. Individuals whose lives have been touched by mesothelioma have numerous questions and concerns. Their caregivers and family members also need accurate, reliable information. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos cancer and need more information, we invite you to visit and explore the thousands of pages of oncologist-reviewed material on Asbestos.net, to call our convenient toll-free number shown below and speak with a mesothelioma specialist, or to use the simple contact form found at Asbestos.net to request a free copy of our informative books, custom inserts, and DVD. Asbestos.net. Information and help for patients and families.